Striking.
Rolling. Speeding.
Take 5. Action.
This whole thing, it was a vision that came to me in a dream. This is home. This is home to us. This is, you can imagine, everybody else would just pick up and leave, but we would lose our home. It's what our whole life is about, is preserving our home, and at the same time assisting our neighbors to do the same thing. Chumash are the keepers of the Western Gate. It's a place where all souls travel when they go to the next world. So they come through our land. We're the caretakers of the souls. So the Chumash have always been very special to a lot of the other tribal nations that, live, near us. There's a lot of stories of the ancient ones traveling through our land. And it's quite an honor for us to be able to do the best job we can in taking care of the ancient ways. So we're really excited about being able to engage and take care of our land. So our proposed marine sanctuary will stretch from Cambria, which is just up the coast about 15 miles. So we'll butt up to the Monterey Bay Marine Sanctuary and then down the coast and around Point Conception to Gaviota Creek, which is 145 miles of some of the most amazing coastline and some of the most amazing sea life.
So the impact of a marine sanctuary, there's a lot of unknowns there. Will it have an impact? I think the answer is yes. What those impacts are, we don't really know. I think some of the things that I've learned and our local fishermen have shared with me on the local level is the situation in Monterey didn't quite unfold the way they were led to believe.
Here in Monterey, there was a well-known promise made when the sanctuary was proposed, that the sanctuary would not regulate fishing, that it would not essentially threaten the livelihoods of fishermen. And in my position at Santa Cruz Harbor, I heard those statements from NOAA officials and elected officials directly, so I know that they're true statements. But it really hasn't worked out that way for recreational and commercial fishermen. That the sanctuary, both directly in some cases and indirectly by using its sort of stature, has definitely created actions that took away fishing opportunity from fishermen, and they have been harmed to some degree.
The term sanctuary, a lot of people think that you cannot fish in a sanctuary. So talking about a sanctuary is actually devastating to our industry because people think, oh, sanctuary, you can't fish there. When a sanctuary goes in, they may or may not claim that they are going to have any impact on fishing regulations, but it real frequently ends up down the road that they do.
The commercial fishing industry was absolutely in favor of a national marine sanctuary, but somewhere along the way they got it into their heads that a marine sanctuary would regulate fishing, that it would throw their boats off the water, that fishermen would become unemployed because it would close down fishing grounds. National marine sanctuaries don't do any of those things.
Some people mischaracterize or mistake other entities who regulate fishing for the sanctuary. I have heard people say that they think that the CISAs are a mechanism to regulate this, fishing in the sanctuary, but the CISAs, which are special ecological areas of significance in the sanctuary, are areas of focus for research. And it clearly states on the sanctuary webpage that this is not, the CISAs are not for regulation, the CISAs are for research focus. So sometimes people misunderstand those things.
I think the public probably doesn't really know very well what the sanctuary does and can't do. And so there is a little bit of an education thing right there where they just think it's a good thing, and so, you know, they love the ocean, and so they support it. At the heart of it now, it's a trust issue, because fishermen by and large don't trust the sanctuary based on experience.
When I understood that the Chumash Heritage National Marine Sanctuary was being considered and supported, it was specifically wanting to bring attention to the long tenure that we've had here. The problem was that not all Chumash people had been a part of the beginnings of it to feel comfortable at first with using that name.
I think the naming of the sanctuary in and of itself, there's a couple things when I consider a sanctuary regionally, and I mean regionally within the county. I think that as it moves along, I think we should consider a different name for the sanctuary. Does by naming this the Chumash National Heritage Marine Sanctuary, does that create a bias?
That's a big part of this, is, you know, having it as an indigenous sanctuary where, you know, our values and our the things that we care about ceremonially and spiritually are taken into the decision-making process. Nobody really pays attention to the Native American community. And how do you change that? For us, this idea kind of evolved itself, and yeah, hold on for a second. Oh, wow, what's that here? A little bit taller than you. Oh, baby. We got her. Look at her.
When it came to our attention that the indigenous peoples of the Central Coast were a really important part of the marine heritage and culture of the Central Coast, we considered it an honor that the Chumash wanted to be a part of this. And having that as our focus separates us from so many other national marine sanctuaries, and it brings an opportunity to bring not only the importance of the diversity of wildlife and the beauty of our Central Coast, along with the heritage and stories of the Chumash culture.
You know, a lot of the indigenous people around the world have given up. And, you know, I still believe there's hope. I believe that we can, together, create a momentum for thrivability. It's connecting everybody. It's connecting everything. It's just not segregating, and it's just not having a vision, you know, that just lasts for a few years. Thrivability is a vision that lasts for, you know, eons into the future.
It's quite a challenge for our local fishermen to not only navigate the waters, but navigate the regulations. And I think everybody wants to do the right thing, including our fishermen.
There's only one group that gives up anything when a marine protected area is implemented, and that's anglers.
That has been happening. But nevertheless, the fear is there because some of those people have been fishermen for generations. And what I like to say is we were fishermen for generations, like uncountable generations. And so we really get it, you know, and to the environmentalists we say, you know, we really get how it needs to be healthy. And so we support that too. So we're somewhere in the middle because we have never moved ourselves out of the landscape. Human beings are part of the environment. We're not looking at the environment as a museum. We've always been active in it.
I like to walk on the Fiscalini Ranch in Cambria. I like to walk the path, and I stop at the map there, and it shows you the Cordell Bank Sanctuary. And then next there's the Greater Farallon Sanctuary on the Central Coast. And then there's the Monterey Sanctuary. And right where on that map that those sanctuaries end is Cambria. And there's a bench there. And I like to go to that bench. And I like to think, okay, we have protection all the way up to that rock. And while it's just a line on a map, it's very important protection. And I'm looking forward to when we have... I'm looking forward to when we have protection from that rock south. That's a goal for me, to have protection that doesn't stop at the rock.
We're all here together. We have to work together. And I think that we have to always keep trying, even when we do have to make compromises.
Over 95 to 97% of the things that the Public Advisory Committee has given to NOAA as things that they wanted to do have been implemented. So we have great hope that we can reach 100%. And in doing so, with everybody sitting at the table and everybody working as a team on the management side of it, we're going to be able to accomplish great things and do things in a way that's never been done before. And my word and the word of the Chumash people and the people who are working on this are extremely important to us. And we're told, the fishermen, right from the beginning, that we are not going to support any fishing regulations. What it's about is creating thrivability for the community, for the fishing community, for the Chumash community, for the tourism community, for the people who live along this coast, in a way that we work together and we meet our goals together.